great country that we live in. Father, we just pray for our leaders, that they will look for you for guidance as we go through this time. We pray for the people in Ukraine, that you'll just be with them and keep them from harm's way. And Father, that Russia would understand and that they would be able to talk and work this out. Father, we just pray that you would intervene in this. Just be with our military and all of our troops that is out and fighting and on duty for our safety, that we might have the freedom to stand here tonight. And we just give you the praise for it all and pray that the decisions made tonight be what's best for our county. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
This is a regular meeting of the Henry County Board of County Commissioners being held on Tuesday, April 12th, 2022 at 6 p.m. in the City Commission Chambers in Clewiston, Florida. In attendance are Chairperson Emma Byrd, Vice Chair Mitchell Wills, Commissioner Darrell Harris, Commissioner Raymond Iglesias, Commissioner Carson Turner, County Administrator Jennifer Davis, County Attorney Mark Lapp, Clerk Kimberly Barano.
Welcome to the Henry County Board of Commissioner meeting. We ask if you need to speak. There's some cards up front. We ask that you fill out the card and give it back to the clerk. We ask that you cut off your own phone devices for us, please, at this time. The first thing up is bids. Since there's nothing on the bids, the agenda.
Make a
Consent.
motion to approve consent.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Turner, a second by Commissioner Iglesias. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. At this time, we're up for the award appearance. The first thing we have up is Child Abuse Prevention Month, the proclamation for the month of April. And we're gonna read it into minutes. The proclamation of the Board of County Commissioners of Henry County, Florida, proclaims April 20th, 2022 as Child Abuse Prevention Month, whereas Florida Bright Futures depend on healthy development of its children, and whereas advised childhood experience includes the abuse and the neglect of children can cause severe and costly consequences for children, family, and society as a whole, whereas every child has the right to be safe, healthy, happy childhood where they are educationally and developing on track, and whereas research shows that parents and caregivers who have support systems and know how to seek help in the time of trouble are more resilient and better able to provide safe, environmental, and nutrient for experience of their children. Whereas it is vital that individual business, school, communities, and organizations make children a top priority and take action to support the physical, social, emotions, and education development and competences of all children. Whereas during the month of April, Prevention Child Abuse, in cooperation with the Florida Department of Children and Family and the Ounce of Prevention Funds, Florida impels pinwheels for prevention, and whereas pinwheels for prevention in the statewide coordinate candidates aims to increase awareness for child abuse prevention enforced by encouraging healthy children development, positive parents practice, and community support, and whereas the blue and the gold pinwheel displayed in this campaign symbolize healthy and happy for all children deserved. Here as Child Abuse Prevention Month is an important opportunity to urge all Floridians to engage in activity that strengthen families and communities that provide an ominous environment for healthy children development. Now, therefore, it is proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Henry County, Florida, does hereby recognize the month of April 2022 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in Henry County and urge all citizens to join in the national effort to raise awareness and help prevent child abuse and neglect. Duly considered and adopted by the Board of County Commissioners, Henry County, Florida, this 12th day of the month, 2022. 2022.
Move to accept the resolution.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Harris, second by Commissioner Turner. All in favor?
Aye.
At this time, we're going to ask if hear you. Welcome to speak.
Thank you for,
Can I ask you, I'm sorry to cut you off, can I ask you to go to the podium and say your name, please? Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Brenda Barnes with the Florida Department of Health in Hendry and Glades counties. And thank you again for this proclamation in recognition of Child Abuse Prevention Month. We greatly appreciate it. We did hold a ride-along event on Saturday the 8th, and I want to publicly thank the Henry County Sheriff's Office for their support for that ride-along event. It went really well. A lot of participation and a lot of good knowledge went to the community. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And Ms. Hood, our administrator, apologizes. She can't be here this evening. She's in Tallahassee on state business, so.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
You tell Ms. Hood that's all right. We appreciate all that y'all do. And, we're seeing everything throughout the county with the pinwheels and all that stuff. And it's really good to see what y'all are doing. So
It's
thank
been
you
a
so
great
much.
community event.
Yes, ma'am, it has.
Schools, the daycares, everyone has gotten involved in making the posters and accepting the pinwheels. So it's been a great community effort.
And
Thank
I
you,
know
Ms.
she
Barnes.
reached out to everybody she thought she could reach out to, because I think we stayed on the phone, but it's awesome, the effort that was put into it, so we say thank you. And we would like to present this to you.
Thank you. And it was in coordination with the Children's Advocacy Center of Southwest Florida. Mr. Quinton is here as well on their behalf. So
You didn't have enough signs up there.
Wait till you see your yard when you get home.
Right?
They were everything.
Thank you so much.
Are you taking a picture?
We're gonna do it.
Thank you, Mr. Quinn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for the work. At this time, next we have up is Joseph Projects, 863. I believe they left a spreadsheet
They
also.
did. It's impressive.
When you come to the podium, would you state your name, please? And before he gets started, I was sustained from voting. I'm a part of this board.
Hello, my name is Marlon Vaughn. I'm the CEO and founder of the Joseph Project. I was born here, raised here. Me and my wife, we've been together since the 7th grade. We just celebrated our 31st wedding anniversary. The reason I'm before the board today is we're seeking funding from the board. We operate the Joseph Project, which is a nonprofit. Our original goal with the nonprofit was to help people retool their careers. I came on a visit several years ago, probably like in 2013, and I told my wife, I say, honey, a lot of people are out of work. It's when U.S. Sugar automated, and a lot of the general labor jobs were kind of phased out. And there's nothing wrong with that. I work for Disney, and we see it all the time. Companies are automating. But I told my wife, I said, we want to help retool this community. And we came in and we started talking to people in the community. And some of the people told me that, Marlon, that's not a good idea. And it confirmed something on the inside of me. I was never looking for a good idea. I was looking for a God idea. And this right here is a God idea, helping people in this community. This is the community that made me. It made me the man that I am, that made my wife the woman she is. And we came in and we started writing scholarships for young people to go to the skilled trades. I've been in the skilled trades since I was 17 years old. And we're losing, they're actually calling what's happening in the skilled trades right now the silver tsunami. We have so many people who are aging out. The average age of a skilled tradesman right now is 60 years old. I'm 51. They still call me the kid at the power plant I work at Disney. So we're aging out, and we're trying to get as many young people as we can to come in and take these positions. We're not only losing bodies, we're losing years and years of industry knowledge that we got to get back. And so that's where our main focus was. But after the pandemic happened, our focus had to expand. And a lot of people were struggling. Had my staff come to me, and we had Anthony Green. He's from New York. New Yorker accent and everything. So he came to me and he said, Marlon, we got to start a feeding program. A lot of people are homeless. A lot of people they need to be fed and they need to be clothed. And I said, Anthony, what do you want to do? We sat down and he said, we're going to make a community fridge. We're just going to open it up, let the people come in and get what they want. And I said, man, that's insane. They're going to come in and just raid the place. And he said, no, once they find out that the food is constantly here, they'll come in, get what they need, and they'll leave. And Anthony, you've been 100% right on that. We're feeding anywhere from 20 to 30 people a day. And so we're seeing these people coming in. But not only are we doing that, Anthony's working with them, building resumes, getting them employed. U.S. Sugar has came out and worked with us, even to the point where they've given us their standardized test before you get employed to train our people on, to help them get employed at U.S. Sugar. And we've got people employed at U.S. Sugar. We got people employed in other areas in our community. If not with U.S. Sugar, we've got them employed with private contractors that do work for U.S. Sugar. So we're making an impact, but our biggest limitation is finance. Anybody who runs a nonprofit, the biggest hindrance is finances. I just had a young lady just got off the phone with her about an hour ago. She's going through LPN school right now. She said, Mr. Marlon, CareerSource, they can't help me. And we partner with CareerSource. CareerSource helps the majority of the people in the community go and get their skilled trades or any type of school they want to go to. So we have a lot of the working poor that don't fit that income criteria to be able to get those fundings. And a lot of people are falling through the cracks. Well, we put that net under there to where we catch those people. And CareerSource called me up and said, Marlon, we got a young lady. She's enthusiastic. She's already graduated from LPN school. She just has one more course that she has to take before she takes her state exam. And I called and interviewed the young lady, talked to members on my board, and they said, let's do it. And again, that's what we do. We try to help as many people as we can to fulfill the dreams that they need to fulfill. And where we get our name from, it's a biblical person named Joseph. He was a great dreamer. A lot of people kind of tried to squash his dream, but God made sure that it came through. And that's what we do. We try to get young people and even adults to dream again. And the reason I say again, because if you ask any young person, whether they're 5, 8, 9 years old, what do you want to be when you graduate? They'll chew your ear off telling you what they want to do. But sometimes when they get to that 15, 16-year-old, you ask that same kid, what do you want to do? I don't know. Life and, peer pressure and everything just kinds of weigh on that. And we continually stay in their ear. We go to the high schools, even down to the grade schools, and talk to people, young kids, about getting into the skilled trades. And we've seen amazing results. And that's all we have to say. If y'all have any questions for me, I'm excited to answer.
I do, Mr. How much time and effort do you guys put in trying to get grants? Because it just seems like if you're only getting $6,000 in grants for a non-profit, it seems like there's so many grants out there that should be available.
And that's one thing and that's a good question to ask. We just hired a grant writer who used to write grants for Palm Beach State College. She just came on board with us, and she's in the process of doing those things right now. I also met with a grant writer just 2 weeks ago over in Palm Beach, and that's what we're going after right now. Not only state grants, not only from philanthropists, but also federal grants.
Where do you get your funds from?
We've mainly been getting our funds from philanthropists in the community. We work with the H.E. Hill Foundation. We work with the Glades Trust, and Disney also donates to us. When we came here, we didn't have a business or anything, a building or anything. We didn't have any computers, no desk or anything. I talked to Child Care of Southwest Florida. They donated us a room out at the Harlem Daycare Center, which the county took back over. Thank you guys for allowing us to stay there and operate there. But also with our desk and computers, projectors and everything, Disney donated it all.
So speaking of that, so I went out there today. When is it that facility's open?
We're open Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays.
Okay, from what time to what time?
From 1:30 to 5. Okay. And we also, I try to get them to stay home as much as they can, but they're actually down there on Thursdays also because they go and get food on Thursdays to fill the pantries back up. But mainly we're down there on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays.
Anyone else have any more questions?
I just want to take a moment. I mean, I'm one of the most suspect humans on the planet. Being in this role since 2008, I'm sure y'all have all seen it, right? You have everybody and their dog coming through telling you about the next greatest thing that you need to engage in, and you need to find resources from a county perspective or find resources from a state and make this happen. And that man right there, he's the definition of preach the gospel at all time, use words if necessary. He gets me fired up. Every time I talk to him, I get more excited about what he's doing. You can sign a contract with him if you need him to engage on something, but his handshake is like oak, and his team is the same way. I have nothing bad to say about Marlon Vaughn and the Joseph Project. It gets me so excited whenever I think back to when you started it, and how many people told you, man, you're just wasting time. This ain't gonna happen. This ain't gonna. And then you show us this spreadsheet, and that's tangible proof of just sweat equity. And you don't take no for an answer. You find a way to get more information out there and make it happen. And I love what y'all do. I love you as a human, and I'm just thankful for the difference you've made in our community and from a regional perspective. And I'm gonna tell you right now, he don't ever brag about himself, but you can take your butt to some major boards in this state from a blue-collar trades industry standpoint, and all the heavy hitters, Duke Power, Florida Power and Light, Next Era Energy, they know Marlon Vaughn, and he's on their team, and so that's it. I've bragged enough. You'll get that in a good time, like 10 years from now, ever again. So
thank you.
We can find a way to help them, Ms. Bird. We need to.
Well, I do want to say that they have made a big difference in the community as far as young people getting their education, pulling them off the streets, getting them jobs. I can't call names, but certain kids, when they get out of jail, they come there and they get them jobs and they get their diploma. It made a difference. So our goal is to get people off the streets and get them a job and teach them the next level, or be that mother or that father they didn't have. Jackie has worked with children and family for years. She makes sure they go through the food stamps program and make sure they get their Social Security cards and their birth certificate. They work hard, for the community. It's not that the only thing they gonna get back is some love, and God's gonna bless them. So that's what they get back, is to make sure their community grow. So I appreciate them, and if you would take a look at it, and whatever we as a board could do to help, I hope we take a look at it and do that, because it have been a different in, not just in Harlem, but the community.
That's exactly right.
Everybody comes there. If you look at the names, everybody comes and eat, get clothes, and try to get a job. So, if you would just look at the list of names.
Ms. Bird, Marlon, your facility is still up and running, or because of where we're at with we're okay, or what's the status right now?
No, we actually we expanded to another room, and
Okay.
we've already outgrown it.
Okay.
So we got to
All right.
expand more,
Yeah.
because we're in the process of starting an arts program, which we used to have in Harlem, but through the years it just went away. But we want to bring that back.
Okay.
We're actually looking to put on a big play around Christmas. Just talking about the community. It's called The Wizard of Harlem.
So you see there, Ms. Bird? See there? Can't be the Wizard of Hooker's Point. Can't be the Wizard of Monterey. Got to be the Wizard of Harlem. Anyway, well, I'm Marlon, you know me very well. I'm the definition of a fiscal conservative. But when the proof is in the tangible effort that you can see, and I think that our staff will look at this. I don't know what we'll be able to do, but I'm sure there's a way that we can find something to be able to facilitate, whether it is physical space again, or helping with your grant writing team with our people or something like that. I don't know, but we'll find a way, I think, to help something. So that's what I'm hoping, at least. So.
Appreciate it.
Mark, do we need to vote on this?
Well, it depends what direction you want to give.
Well, I think we're just gonna direct staff, right?
And Ms. Bird, what I'd like to challenge you to do, unless y'all disagree with this, as a board member, I don't want you to be bashful about something that you're clearly passionate about, and you have a much greater inside knowledge than what we do. So I would like to challenge you as a fellow commissioner to sit with staff, you and Ms. Davis put your heads together and come back to us with something that you think could be a tangible, whether it's a number, whether it's hours, whatever it may be, whether it's utilities, I don't know. But I guarantee you there's a low-hanging fruit that can be had that can help them with overhead, administrative, whatever those numbers are. And then there may actually be dollars and cents from a check that could be stroked. Or, you talked about the federal side. I mean, let's I don't know if the Regional Planning Council has something that they could write for, but, Commissioner Iglesias, you point out that 6K number, and we all know that there's dollars and cents flowing out of
Out
people's
there.
ears.
Yeah.
It's just a question of how do you get it. I will tell you this, something that makes me very angry. And he's handled it like a gentleman. But I'm just going to put it out there. Marlin has been used, and tell me I'm wrong with that phrasing, but our demographics qualify Southwest Florida for every grant under the sun. Ms. Davis, is that correct? Ms. Hunter, is that correct? And what happens is when you have an African American, or I don't know if you're supposed to say black or African American, okay, but y'all get what I'm driving at, right? You got a black man that has a 501c3 that has these kind of numbers, and you have the low socioeconomic status that we have. Suddenly they can disregard that he lays his head in Clearmont at night. He is representing the 5 communities of Southwest Florida, and we need to make sure that we put his demographics on our grant cycle, and then those dollars flow to Southwest Florida. Now, you can sit there and say, oh, that's blasphemous because that's staying. But I'm telling y'all, I know for a fact our numbers and the numbers that he has compiled have been used to help get dollars to Southwest Florida. But it goes back to a manpower thing, and I'm not being critical of his board or any of his staff, but I'm just saying they only have so many hours in a day. None of them are getting paid. They can't run that down and make sure that the dollars and cents are flowing to them. So I think that it's time for a man and his staff that have done such a good job to see some of the fruits of his labor, and let's try to work hand in glove with them a little bit more. That's just my 2 cents. But Ms. Bird, once again, unless the board disagrees, I want to challenge you to be the leader on that and bring that back to us and watch how quick you get a 5-0 vote of support.
Is everybody agreeable?
Yeah, absolutely. Just work with staff.
Okay. So, Marlon, we're gonna work with staff and see what we could do, where we at, and what we can do to help, and then Jennifer will get back to you. Is that okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Last thing, Ms. Bird, we're in the month of April.
April.
I would challenge you, you don't have to come back, but if you could, I would just challenge, we don't let an entire quarter go by before we get a formal update. It's an agenda item, and we make it part of this board to discuss and know what we've done.
And give us an update on how your grant
Yes,
is coming along.
I think that might be too quick for y'all, but if you want to do the next Cluster meeting, that's fine. Once again, y'all work it out. I just challenge that before the quarter's up.
That'll be our goal. We'll try to do
Okay.
it the next.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for
so
your time.
much. So we thank you guys for coming. There's nothing on the public hearing. We're gonna go to staff reports.
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, this is really just a cleanup ordinance amendment. I need your authority to proceed with it, bring it back to you after we can advertise it. When we were going through implementing the changes, we realized that it wasn't as clear as it needed to be about the resident rate for buying for a current resident's non-resident spouse, parent, child. That was a scenario in our explanation that we told you that was going to be the resident rate if the resident bought it for his spouse, his parent, or his child. But the ordinance language, I just didn't get it there. It didn't, when we went back through and tried to implement it, so that doesn't say that. So this is to clean that up, and I'll bring it back to you in a later time.
Move.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Harris, second by Commissioner Iglesias. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, Mr. Parker, Everglades.
Okay, Commissioners, the item I have for you is the reappointment of 2 advisory board members.
Is it a reappointment of Mr. Pittman and Ms. Daniels?
No, it's a reappointment of Derek
I'm
Beck.
sorry.
Derek Beck and Mike Swindle,
Okay.
reappoint them, and then there's a vacancy because Mr. Hughes resigned. And there's three candidates that came forward, one by Commissioner Iglesias for Jimmy Pittman. AIA, Miss Lily Rentz suggested Miss Keitha Daniels. And then there is a tenant at Everglades who's been attending the advisory board meetings named Miss Michelle Gonzalez with transcript.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to reappoint the current members as recommended and appoint Mr. Jimmy Pittman as the replacement to the Everglades Advisory Board.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Turner, second by Commissioner Glacis to reappoint the, Mr. Bex and Mr. Swindle, and to appoint Mr. Pittman. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
And just for the record, you do have an updated resolution that the county attorney approved on your dais.
Okay. You have two walk-ons, would you do them?
Yes, ma'am. The first one, these are both for the Wheeler Road MSBU. First one's STA number 3. This is for the preliminary route analysis for the extension of Wheeler Road toward Townsend Canal Grade. It's in the amount of $15,000 not to exceed, seeking board approval of
Motion
that.
approved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Glacis, second by Commissioner Turner. All in favor? Motion passes.
Thank you. Next one I have for you is STA number 4 for the design, phase 1 of the Wheeler Road.
I'll make a motion to approve option 1 and approve STA and execute STA number 4 with AIM Engineering Survey and not to exceed amount of $213,227.
Second.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Turner, second by Commissioner Wills. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you, Chairman. That's all I have.
That's all you have?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
Mr. Parker, can you give us a 3-minute synopsis on Force Main update?
Force main update, they started work in March. Started work in March, and they've been fusing pipe,
Directional bore, fusion?
directional bore, and there was some that were gonna do direct bury, small piece by the plant, but they elected to go ahead and do that directional bore, and they're under construction.
Would it be possible by whichever's easiest, next meeting in LaBelle or the next meeting in Clewiston to show us a map and percent progress update on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Ms. Davis?
Yes, Adelia Bustamante, our HR director, is going to present this item.
And she works all the time, because when I email her, she emails me back in the middle of the night.
Good evening. So, again, Adelia Bustamante from HR. So, I am requesting approval for the Veterans Recruitment Plan that is attached, and we are also requesting approval for changes to the HR manual.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve option 1, approve the Veterans Recruitment Plan and revisions to section 9.6 of the Human Resources Policy Manual.
Second.
Is that right, Ms. Bustamante?
Correct.
That's right. Motion by Commissioner Turner, second by Commissioner Wills. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you so much. At this time,
We do have one walk-on item for the children's shelter. Bob Skula, our EM director, is going to present the information. You were emailed the information earlier today, and there's also a printout in front of each one of you.
Before he comes up, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to approve the Noble Senior Center as a special needs shelter for Hendry and Glades County. And I'm so excited that y'all moved forward with this before we get into storm season, and that the census issues that we have will most likely be met. And then the other nuances that are potentially out there, I think it's just a great move. It's a heck of a lot better than I don't know how many bajillion-dollar building that we don't even have the grant for.
Second.
That's awesome.
motion by Commissioner Turner, second by Commissioner Glacis. All
In the
favor?
minutes, gabajillion.
Do you
Can you
have
spell that?
GABAGILLION.
What about,
Boy, you're not right.
what about the Clewiston Hospital?
We're working with the Clewiston Hospital. I had several meetings with them, and it's in front of their executive board. And I've asked Brenda and Ms. Hood to meet with them because they want some specifications about what exactly we need for the shelter. But they seem to be on board. I had a meeting early this morning with them, and they seem to be willing to help us out the best they can. So it looks like that will be a go if everything goes the way I think it will.
Okay, that's good.
So how long are we looking at for the Glades, for the LaBelle area?
Well, the LaBelle area is ready to go. We're ready to go this season.
Right.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's awesome.
Hey, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Mr. Pashula, I'm sorry, you said the number offhand. If we had a worst case scenario, what are we looking like from a special needs volume countywide? Just shoot from the hip and be high on the number.
Well, I've only had 3 applications this year.
Okay.
So we only have 3
Yes,
so
sir.
far. Well, Brenda's saying 5, so
No, no.
Oh, she wants to say something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that history shows that people don't register in advance.
Yes, ma'am.
But during Irma, we had walk-ins, and we were up to about between 45 and 60 people that came in unregistered. So
And we can handle 60, hopefully, at Nobles. And we have a exercise set for May 17th.
But the 60 was countywide.
Correct. And that was including Glades as well.
Yes.
And that's including people that weren't Hendry Glades residents.
correct.
Yeah,
Glades
we had a, you know, when Governor Scott issued the leave, you know, we had people that fled from Lee and Palm Beach.
Yeah, they were coming over from
Yes,
Lee
sir.
County.
And Madam Chair, the reason why I ask, and to you, sir, is I would just love to know what we could allocate from a resource standpoint. What I was educated to understand was that oxygen was a big, you know, along with just actual human workforce that had to facilitate the care to a special needs person, it was the oxygen requirement. Is that wrong, Ms. Barnes, or is that partly correct?
Statewide, there have been issues with oxygen delivery, and a lot of times county health departments have contracts with oxygen suppliers, and it's the same supplier for multiple county health departments. So that became the issue. We've been working closely with Amy, with EMS, to pre-stage some oxygen needs prior to activation. So during Irma, we didn't have a huge issue. We did have some, but not as bad as I think it could have been.
And surprisingly enough, I did enter that conversation with the hospital this morning. And you may have seen those Inogen systems on TV. I was informed that if we can purchase those, and I'm going to try to get a grant to do that, we'll have those. They will actually make the oxygen necessary for those patients that we keep in the shelters, which will be a big plus because we do have trouble with oxygen during emergencies because everybody has a contract with these oxygen suppliers. So if we can make our own, which is the goal, I think we would be much better off.
Nice.
And then the other thing too, you know, I just think that from the conversation that Ms. Davis shared with me, the fact that you and her know, and Ms. Barnes, your staff all know that they're going to do everything in their power to find a facility on this side of the county, because as you all know, you know, when we start looking at the volume of the population, especially as you get out here to the outlying area, you know, it gets pretty extensive. And you self-professed, we don't have a lot of pre-registers. So, you know, when we get into that catastrophic situation, we need to be able to accommodate them. And so I'm glad that we're moving this forward. And the answer isn't we need to do what we were contemplating doing. Not that we're not going to grow into that eventually one day, but this is the definition of what you talk about all the time. Let's just get it done and make it happen, and not, you know, we don't have to break the bank in doing it. So I'm proud of y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did y'all vote?
No. Yeah, we made it.
We voted, yes,
Yeah,
we voted, yes. Did you get everything that Ms. Brenda, that she, okay, thank you, because I didn't ask her to come to the podium. Okay. This is a public hearing. Anyone from the public wishes to speak, we ask you to do so at this time. Business by district.
I just want to challenge staff. Jennifer, you know, rural broadband is a big issue. Here in the last, month and a half, we sent out that Facebook post, and I shared it, where people can go online and do a test to see what speed and capability you have at your home. Problem is that everyone complains about broad internet service, and there's a lot of dollars out there within the state capitol about funding projects. And I think that we need to do our due diligence. I think we should work with our Plus system, whether it's Glades Electric, City of Coulson, with all of our partners, and get this information out there to the people to do these tests, because at some point when Tallahassee's voting on something, if we're one of those counties that are showing that we've got the stats to prove that we need it, we're going to get those dollars. But I can tell you that there's other counties out there competing. At the FERA board meeting, they're one county, I think it was Highlands, they're going all in as far as marketing dollars to really get it out there. And I think we're just behind the eight ball. We'll complain on another COVID situation or that another county got dollars, but I think we need to do something in-house, whether it's Ryan and his team, or I don't know, but we need to do something. We need to do it fast.
Correct me if I'm wrong, we already did that, did not we?
We have a broadband study, and it's got a lot of good information in it, but a lot of the information and some of the recommendations are, you know, as time changes and technology changes, are already somewhat outdated. I think that the Starlink that everyone is aware of is, if it scales to the extent, and it's not scaling real fast, will solve a lot of the issues, because you can get internet service basically anywhere in the world, and you don't have to have a hard line in the ground to be able to get it. We were supposed to, and we were slated to be one of the first governmental pilot projects for that, but it's not come to fruition. I mean, Ryan keeps following up and updating and so forth on that, and it just hasn't happened. But we saw, you know, on social media, for example, in the Muse area, there's folks that already have it, and they say it works really, really well. So if we can come up with some kind of recommendation to maybe use some of the new technology, write for a grant, and try to put it together that way. Now, we in-house have done some internal infrastructure upgrades within our facilities, and we continue to do that with some of the COVID dollars that you already approved. So Ryan's got some projects that are still going on from that perspective, but we'll get together and come up with some recommendations and bring them back to you.
See, Kim, with Calusa Bell going once a month, does that impact you and your ads? So what do you do now? Don't you have to have a paid paper?
Well,
We can, or for the tax details
Yeah.
and stuff, they're gonna run it, but we're also gonna do it in the Lake of Okeechobee.
Yeah, because that's not a good deal.
We can, with the Lake of Okeechobee, they can do it more.
And once a month?
Yes.
They're still weekly.
No,
Lake
they're still,
Okeechobee
Lake
News
of
is still
Okeechobee's still
weekly.
weekly, but Calusa's not.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, we'll,
But you can still do it with Okeechobee?
Because they deliver on this side of the county. They deliver on this side.
I know on meeting notices, I think state legislation passed this year, which will go into effect in July, is where you'll just be able to post on a website, is the way I understand that. So I don't know if that falls under that.
it's on a state website as well.
Okay.
We have to statutorily post it on that.
Does it have to be within a week or so many days?
I'm not sure.
Okay, 3 days. And we're still working on impact fees?
Jennifer?
That RFP has gone out, and it's April 25th, is that correct? When it'll be opened. So as soon as we receive those submittals, they'll come back to you for approval.
Okay.
Just a little bit. Staff's been doing a lot of work in the areas of Wheeler Estates, and I appreciate that. We actually rode through the area today a little bit. Spoke with one gentleman, spoke to another one this afternoon. They're ecstatic about the idea of moving forward. I told them it was not tomorrow it was going to be there, but it was. We were in the work process. The Feld area is really the same thing. I had a couple questions I was talking to you about this morning. I had a few more call me this afternoon. They're I don't know how they've gotten the information, or I'd like to check with DOT and just to clarify. They're said that someone's pushing to get the speed drop back again through there at 45. If we could just clarify that, please, as our 29 area through Felda. The Wheeler Estates, they're working. So a lot of you know we've been working on you guys have talked about the mail houses and different stuff. A portion of Wheeler Estates was in Lee County, has been delivered by Lee County for the last forever. The postmaster's in the process of getting that taken back for Hendry County. So in the near future, we'll be getting them tied into the county, getting their mail delivered through the county. So that's a good thing. So thank you, staff, for all your work on that. I appreciate that very much. And Mr. Vaughn, the stuff you're talking about, I really hope this board doesn't drag its feet. It's very nice and refreshing to see what you're doing in the community. So I'm really believing that Ms. Bird's going to get behind this and push this extremely hard. So thank you for your presentation tonight. And you got 150% of my support. Whatever I can do to help, we will do for sure. Thank you, Ms. Bird.
Thank you. Commissioner Turner?
Congratulations to the United States Sugar Corporation and this community on bringing in, hopefully, our future Ag Commissioner, Mr. Wilton Simpson, Senate President Wilton Simpson. There's a big event going on at the John Boy right now. I was good to see all y'all that went and attended that. We going to rural broadband. I would like to ask staff. I'd like to ask Ms. Davis to reach out to Palm Beach County and to talk to Vice Chair Weiss's staff. Vice Weiss. He spoke with me. It's going to be scary how long ago it was about the concept of redundancy for Palm Beach County, and they were looking at, because when they have a blackout, if you will, their trunk line, I can't remember which way it goes, but as a crow flies, I want to say pretty much north out of Palm Beach County, and they were wanting to do a redundant system up the spine of 27. And so, ironically enough, that conversation engaged, and then like a week later, I had a great conversation with the Seminole Tribe of Florida. I can't remember the name of the gentleman, and I can find that out for you, but his knowledge of IT was so off the charts, but yet his ability to essentially, for me, dumb the conversation down so that I could understand what was, he kind of used the example of water flowing and what we have, and the low-hanging fruit was, Ms. Davis, as you are more familiar than probably anybody in the room, is obviously the Seminole Tribe of Florida, Hollywood, BC, Brighton, a spoke going over to Immokalee, to their ranch there, but coming right through us, and they said, man, this could be another situation where we have redundancy. And so I think that this conversation could evolve in a very positive way. I think that there's still dollars and cents from a federal perspective, even if it's through Build Back Better. But the reality is I don't have enough hours in the day, and I don't think it's my job really to engage that at this level. But I would like to get the blessing of the board to ask staff to essentially, because I do think this is something that rises to the top level.
Yep.
Right now at Quality Electric, we have two services that we pay for because we lose one so frequently. Mm-hmm. And I can name multiple companies in town that do that are in the heart of the city of Clewiston. And, those are the types of things, in my personal opinion, let me rephrase that, in my professional opinion, those are the types of things that have the potential to prevent a national, which is the same thing, but franchise from locating here. And so, when you start talking to Alan J., and they get into the finite details of what their system was able to support or the lack thereof, when you listen to the Hampton Inn and some decisions that were almost not made because of our lack of internet service, and you can go right on down the line. I mean, Commissioner Iglesias, I bet you could tell us some horror stories about losing service.
I got rid of CenturyLink and Comcast, and I went through Florida Wi-Fi, and I barely lose service. They've got antennas by Sunrise, by their D&J Machinery, and at KOA, and they're all through Florida.
Yeah, and Brenda's just thrown her hands up. My office manager has thrown her hands up on so many times, and it's sad to say, but when you lose it in 20 whatever, you're dead in the water. Yeah. You literally can do nothing. And so, I think this is the definition of what we sit up here for: is trying to keep taxes low, providing services, and this is one of those hard line infrastructure. This has the ability to touch every constituent in the region. This is not a district issue. This is not a black issue. It's not a white issue. It's not a D or an R. This is just trying to make it to where, everybody has a higher quality of life. And I personally hate technology, but there is no getting around it. It is something that is every day of our lives now. So I think that we should engage the conversations, if it's nothing more than Ms. Davis or whoever her appointee is, to reach out and see what Palm Beach County is doing, and if there is any low-hanging fruit that could be had. Because if they're potentially going to put something in the ground or have redundancy on satellite systems or something running up and it's coming right by our house, we could be a drop in the bucket for them to add on, if you will. And so that's my 2 cents. And other than that, Shane, please, if you can hammer while we're dry, hammer on some of these areas that we have issues, that we know where water's going to turn up on us. I saw the easement here tonight. That's great. I think that you are moving the ball down the field on that one. So keep hammering it away, please. That's it, Ms. Madam.
Thank you. So for District 1, we are so grateful for the staff just keeping the community up. We really appreciate it. Thank Emily. Looking forward to see what's going to happen with the Harlem Academy Daycare. So it's a lot of good things coming. We just got to be a little bit patient and watch things move. So thank you so much. There's nothing else said. Meeting adjourned.
Oh, thanks. What do you mean you guys talk to
Hey Tracy, how are you doing?
Mark.